Hello, Terry here, and we're back with Secrets Untold. So, last time, I still don't remember your name. I can remember Kiran and Maddox and Balder and the other, but I cannot remember the main character name. God. I'm so sorry. Well, the last time, this girl has escaped from Kiran because Kiran is kinda strange, like breathing fire or stuff like that, having red eyes, and I don't know, probably he's currently massacring the villagers, but who knows. Either way, yeah, that's what happened. We escape and then we end up in this alley. Let's continue playing the game, shall we? I took into an alley a few streets up from where the festival was set up. Kieran wouldn't be happy, but this was the mess he had made all on his own. Indeed. My hands were on my knees as I struggled to catch my breath. Would the red-haired male even come after me? Oh, he would. I couldn't be sure, but I didn't want to risk it. My hands latched onto the amulet tightly. This thing meant more to me than all of the money in Aurea. It represented love from someone who must have felt strongly enough to bestow it upon me, and it represented life, because Loretta had given her so that I could keep going on. Oh.
Lady Belvedere, please come home.
Who are you? That voice! I had heard it the night I left the castle, though the name it spoke rang no bells in my memory. Who was Lady Belvedere? I slapped my cheeks once, twice, three times until I was satisfied that I was awake and not imagining anything. I was just in marketplace, was I not? Kieran had grabbed hold of a woman who wanted to forcefully take my amulet, but his eyes glowed a ferocious red and he had somehow lit her arm on fire. Yeah, Kieran has a special ability called Barbecue Fire. Nice, isn't it? That was all real. This wasn't a dream, I was sure of it.
Lady Belvedere, please stop running.
I stand as I said before in the previous episode. I need my parents. No, I don't want to. I'm gonna continue running, okay? My hands flew to my heart. It was beating rapidly, but I had finally caught my breath. The familiar voice had kept getting louder and louder until I couldn't take it anymore and I needed to cover my ears. Ooh. I didn't know who Lady Belvedere is, but it definitely wasn't me. I tried to open my mouth to tell the voice that they were mistaken, but I was immobilized. What the My world grew hazy for a moment, but when my vision cleared, I was in the same fairy scene as I was the first time I had heard the cryptic voice. The flame grew higher and higher with each second that passed by. I wasn't quite sure who the voice belonged to, what they want to, or how I could actually begin to interact with them. It felt like I was watching something transpire that I could do nothing to stop.
I see you've stepped away from the flames, only to find yourself caught in another blaze.
Yeah? The flames that engulf me now, did they have any connection to the flame that Kieran held in his hand just moments ago? Oh, you're talking about flames, these flames, okay? What did it all mean? What was I missing?
Madam, if you hear my voice, you must open your
No,
mind
no,
and
no.
allow me entry.
No, you definitely sent an assassin to me. I wouldn't do that. I didn't understand how I could open my mind, or even if I wanted to. Who would I be allowing entry? Yeah.
My lady,
Uh-huh.
it is your will. You must save us.
Save who? My mind fluttered to the letter Miss Parisi had written to me. She wanted me to save them too. From what or how I could possibly do that, I did not know. Maybe the grandiose journey Balder and his mother had sent me on was one I really needed to pay attention to. Every time I strayed away, would this voice come and beckon me back? I didn't understand what I needed to do, but this had to have been a sign. Something was happening and someone needed saving. Was someone out there somewhere begging for help from danger? Maybe Or maybe I was just delusional.
Perhaps you are not ready yet, madam.
Uh huh.
Fear not. Your will is to be done.
Okay.
Focus on the clouded heart, for that is how I will find you.
Okay. Focus on the clouded heart. The clouded heart. Clouded heart?
Callista!
No, I didn't expect you when we are talking clouded heart. Go away.
Huh?
Huh? Hello, Kiran. I definitely didn't try to escape. I'm just staying in this alleyway, relaxing. Have you finished massacring all the villagers? My eyes fluttered open and I saw the person I was trying to escape from. He looked completely untouched by the events of before. There were no red eyes in sight.
You ran off.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to get burned.
I was, looking for you?
Good job, Callista. Good job.
You were next to me and then you ran to look for me.
Uh, I don't know how to cover for you, Callista. That's a really bad excuse, you know. It's because the sun is shining too brightly and I cannot see you. Well, if we put it like that, it did sound like a pretty dumb excuse, indeed. He caught me off guard, and I couldn't. How that caught me off guard, and I couldn't think of anything better to tell him. Just let me do the talking, can you?
I scared you, didn't I? You saw a monster in my red eyes.
Psh, what red eyes? I didn't saw anything. I really couldn't lie to him, but telling him to his face that I thought he was frightening was too much of a hurdle for me to climb.
Well,
You see?
see.
Yeah, you see?
You can't even look at me right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're so tall, Kiran, I cannot see you at all from this small size. I felt my heart tearing as I heard his dejected voice. Kiran didn't want me to look at him like he had just gone berserk and hurt an innocent woman, but he had. But you had, Kiran. I couldn't ignore that.
Am I not supposed to be upset over everything that has happened?
Yeah?
You can be upset.
Uh-huh.
I would be upset too. But please, just give me the chance to explain to you what you just saw and why it happened.
Okay, Kiran, explain to me, where do you get those barbecue power? While it was tempting over, I didn't want to be here any longer. I was tired, scared, and confused, all wrapped up into one. I needed time to clear my head and think about what I had seen Kiran do and what I had heard from the mysterious voice. It was all too much for me.
I don't know if I can do that.
Okay. The same wall that had always been up between the two of us was still standing in one piece.
Okay.
Okay.
So, that's it? You're not going to say anything else?
Nope.
Yeah. What do you
Uh-huh.
want me to say?
Yeah, I can
I
force
can't
you.
force you into doing something you don't want to do. So tell me, what is it that you do want to do?
Huh. I said the first thing that came to mind. Okay. Let's see what Callista did.
I want to leave.
Okay. That's pretty straightforward. Kiran seemed to mull over the words for a moment.
Well, Balder asked us to take you to Terra Captivatus. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to know that you didn't end up there. As long as you're safe, right?
Mm-hmm. The usually calm and collected boy seems frazzled. This was not according to either of our plans, but the end goal was still the same for me. I needed to get out of here, and while Karen was okay with that, would his partner be?
What about Maddox?
Mm-hmm. What about
We're all
Maddox?
adults. She won't get mad at you for not wanting to go through with the original plan.
Ah, indeed. That's actually a reasonable thing. I not because what else I could say or do in this situation. It was all over.
For what it's worth, I'm really sorry to have put you in that situation.
Oh, thank you. Kiran and I locked eyes for a moment, but I quickly tore my gaze away from his. His fire and the fire had seen in my visions. Were they linked? I didn't have the courage or determination to ask Kiran what he thought. Perhaps I could live a life without knowing the truth, shrouded in the safety of having a new life somewhere else. Yeah, Kiran and I stood in front of each other until finally I had made the last move.
Goodbye.
What? What was that with that goodbye? Like, goodbye. I waved awkwardly at him as I took a step back. He let out a mangled sigh and took his own step back as well. The two of us turned around and walked our separate ways. Well, what was I supposed to do now? I was free to do exactly as I pleased and it felt completely weird, and you don't have any money. What are you trying to do here? This was what I had wanted, but it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. Something about the dejected look on Kieran's face made my heart hurt. Oh. In the very short time that I knew him, I had discovered Kieran had quite a heart of steel. It was hard for me to truly know what he was ever thinking. So I could say that he had helped me in more ways than one. He didn't have to give me his advice when I was looking up at the stars. He also didn't have to step in when that merchant tried to take my amulet. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure he has to stand in when the merchant tries to do that. I mean, they're bodyguards? But at the same time, I saw something that made me afraid. How could a person allow themselves to get so angry that they hurt another person? I was still having a hard time believing that he was able to use fire, and that his eyes had turned a vibrant red. But Kieran's cautions toward me now confirmed it. The other side of the royal coin was an obvious matter of morality. Yes, Kieran was scary, but wasn't everything one didn't understand frightening? Fear ruined a lot of things. Fear of loneliness kept me bonded to Balder. Fear of going against the limit placed on me by the king kept me stagnant. Seeing what the world had to offer showed me that there were so many possibilities and opportunities. Oh yeah, indeed, there's a lot of possibilities in the world that I couldn't possibly fathom what to do with them all. So yeah, I was afraid of Kieran and what he was capable of doing. But imagine all I was losing out on by not hearing him out. I just had to decide if I would let fear overtake me. I couldn't exactly go back to the marketplace, people must have been in panic. So, considering what just happened, I understood completely. I wondered if I could get away with simply walking about, or will the people of Omnia suspect that I had something to do with with what Kiran did. I placed my thumb under my chin as I thought about my next course of action. Okay, so maybe the whole staying in Omnia thing wasn't a good idea, but I could run to another town. Could you? A town whose whereabouts were unknown to me. Well, we would find out just how resourceful I could be, wouldn't we? Just as I was about to stalk away towards the gate of Omnia, I felt a hand grab onto my arm. I recoiled backwards, letting out a noise that didn't resemble anything human, I was sure.
Hey, kid.
Ah! Oh no! Hey, Maddox!
Maddox?
Maddox! Well, Carp.
Are you...
Uh, her voice trailed off. I was admiring the scenery.
I'm fine.
I'm fine, Maddox. She let out a breath and then smiled warmly at me. Then she ran her hand through her short, wispy hair.
Bad news.
Bad news? She motioned behind her with a quick whip of her shoulder. I could see two men in guards' uniform talking to a group of townspeople. Yep, This was what I was worried about all along. Oh no.
Those guys are after you.
Yep. She brought her finger up to her lips to silence me. She wasn't going to allow me to protest, and I didn't think I really want to. Maddox was my best bet out of here. I knew if anyone understood how to get out of a bad spot, it was her and Kira. She began to walk away quickly and I followed after, trying to be as quiet as possible. I know this man I have to face Kieran again, but what other choice I have? Sorry, but what other choice did I have? Running away wouldn't get me quite far at all. Maddox hadn't taken me out of Omnia at all. Instead, I followed her further in towards a house just on the outskirts of town. We waited patiently for the door to open, and when it did, it revealed just who I was expecting.
Callista, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to send the guards after you. I messed up.
Yeah, sure, you did.
Kieran.
Kieran? Maddox silenced him with, with one word and a quick head movement back and forth. Kieran stepped back from the door and allowed us entry. Oh, nice.
What is this place?
A lab? What is this place? I stepped inside of something that didn't look like a house at all. It was more like a work building or something.
Maddox's contact Helen runs a
Uh huh.
letter writing business.
Ah.
She's letting us stay here for the night. There's no beds, but
Hey, still better than outside. Letter writing business? This doesn't look like a letter writing business.
Could be worse.
Yeah, could be worse. Maddox shrugged, propping herself up on one of the desks.
Callista, if we want to go any
Mm-hmm.
further, we need to talk about what you saw in the market and that amulet you're wearing.
Okay. The amulet, the fire. I knew it was all connected. Maybe I should have run from Maddox when I had the chance. The two of us locked eyes and she shook her head. Still not even so much as a frown on her face.
I'll leave you to it then.
Okay. Maddox hopped off the desk and left the cluttered room. Kiran began to speak once he heard the door click shut.
You saw me use my firepower.
Yeah, your barbecue power. What was that?
Every member of Shadow has a power.
Ah,
It's not something we really flaunt,
okay.
but it's there inside of us, and always will be. I don't want you freaking out about it, but I also can't tell you any more about it for safety reasons.
Every member of Shadow? So Maddox too. Interesting. And yet he offered earlier to explain to me what was happening. He knew the truth, but he didn't want to tell me. If safety was his concern, it was a little too late for that one.
Shadow has its own set of secrets that I can't just go about spilling. Now, I'm telling you this because you're hiding something from me about that amulet of yours.
Ah, okay.
A secret for a secret.
Alright. There it was. There was no real concern for my well-being, but a power held around my neck. I didn't know what secret Kiran thought I was holding because he probably knew more about this whole situation than I did. It was very obvious at this point that the amulet around my neck was no normal piece of jewelry. That merchant from earlier was willing to get me sent to civil holding over it. The hold it had on people was worrisome. Kiran and Maddox had powers that they could use to protect me. They also probably knew a thing or two about magic. Shadow was too mysterious an organization for me to feel 100% comfortable giving up the letter I had from Miss Parisi.
You have to realize that Maddox and I are putting our lives on the line for you, and if that amulet is going to call the wrong attention, we need to be aware of it.
I thought you two are already getting briefed by Baldur, but okay.
This is my battle.
Okay. I fished in my pocket for the folded up letter. The parchment was beginning to wear thin. I needed to take extra care of it in the future if I wanted to preserve the memory of Miss Parisi. This was all I had left on her, and maybe even of Baldur too. When Kiran reached out to take it from my hand, I held it above my own head.
I want to make sure that we're on the same page before we move forward.
Okay.
What page are you on, Callista?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know why all of this is happening.
Oh.
I should be able to live a normal life.
Yeah. It was becoming bluntly obvious that I was in a lot deeper than I could get myself out with this amulet business. I needed to figure out what power this amulet possessed that made people want it so badly. Maybe it had something to do with those visions I was having of a voice that was trying to reach me. Well, I wanted to be free too, and to do that I needed to find out what was holding me back. Finding that information would open up other pathways, I was sure. Plus, it gave me peace of mind. I didn't know what that meant for us going forward, I just knew that I was tired of putting myself last.
Baldur hired us to bring you to TC under
Uh-huh.
the assumption that you'd remain safe. Or, so he claims. Whatever, I'm not going to argue about that.
Okay.
But the sentiment is the same nonetheless. If you were to be put in harm's way for whatever reason while under our watch, we wouldn't be doing our job.
Alright.
It's really too late for that. My entire life has been me getting hurt, and I've shielded myself from that reality for too long. If I can find out anything about myself, getting hurt is worth it.
Are you sure?
I don't know what answer you want. I was told by Baldur that you needed to be sent to Terrorose place where you'd be safe from any people who would inflict harm on you.
I'm not sure that's the best decision. That couldn't be all he knew if he was demanding I tell him more about his amulet. Did he think I was some stupid helpless girl? He must have known I would come crawling back to him, asking for help.
Maybe I made a mistake in trusting you.
Oh,
Do you trust me? You hate me. I'm not an idiot.
okay.
I'm not someone you want to associate with outside of finding information about what's going on with you. So don't play games.
Alright.
All I can confidently tell you is
Hey,
that
don't play
amulet
games.
on your neck is the same red I've seen somewhere else.
Ah, same rat. He pointed up to his eyeballs and let out an aggravated sigh.
I don't know the link, if there is any.
Okay.
But I feel more unstable when I'm with you. I get angrier. I want to hurt people.
Oh, really? That's interesting. He placed a hand on his head and looked down at the floor.
It's called bloodlust. When a shadow is pushed far enough, they resort to their animalistic instincts.
Push far enough?
Our eyes turn red and our powers activate. I can usually keep it under control, but
Ah,
today,
okay.
I wasn't able to.
It's kinda strange you having a bloodlust for a merchant.
I've been fighting harder and harder to rein in my anger. You don't make it easy in the slightest. I'm not blaming you. That amulet of yours is doing something. I just feel it.
Okay, so what is the power of the amulet then? It was a lot of information for me to take in, but I believe Kiran. He had gotten angry at the woman in a marketplace, so his eyes began to glow a vibrant red and he burned her. A few moments later, I had a vision with a mysterious voice talking about being in the flames. Kiran ran a hand through his hair. He was ever so calm, unbothered by my heavy gaze on him. His hand had long since been retracted, no longer seeking the ladder.
The page I'm on right now is taking you to TC where you're safe and away from
Okay.
Maddox. I wasn't informed by my commander about that amulet.
Okay.
All I'm asking is if that thing is a threat to me and my friend. Does it need to be destroyed?
No, it's something important. I don't know how. I covered the red gem with my red hand. How could something as simple as a piece of jewelry make someone so angry that they want to hurt people? It made no sense. Silently, I handed him the letter. He watched me curiously for a moment until I nodded my head. It was okay with it. I was okay with it because he could probably put the pieces together better than I could. Kira and I scanned over the paper. When he was done reading it, he folded it back up carefully and handed it over to me.
Well, that was very vague, but
Uh-huh.
it confirms my suspicion. That amulet is definitely special.
Definitely.
What's the plan now?
Uh-huh.
You don't need to forgive me for what I did. It was horrible.
Okay.
You also don't have to trust me either.
Okay.
My job was to take you to Terra Captivatus or somewhere else safe, and that's what I'm going to do. End of story.
End of story. Would be pretty funny if the game suddenly ends after that. I gave him a hesitant nod. Kiran wanted to be done with me, and that was okay. I would follow him and Maddox and see if what he hypothesized was true. If my amulet really made him and Maddox angrier, I do my own investigation and take it from there. Kiran cupped his hand over his mouth and shouted for Maddox to enter the room. I straightened up, listening to Maddox's footsteps. When she entered, I noticed Kiran's demeanor change. He seemed to light up almost instantly. That used to be Baldur and I. Ah,
Our next destination is the Shadows base.
Shadow. Why?
What for?
What for?
We have to take
Yes.
Callista to Terra Captivatus, like we were assigned to do.
Yep.
Kieran, think about it. Why is it so important to protect Callista?
Uh-huh. She bounced on her heels. I saw Kiran's face change from confusion to slight anger.
You were listening to us.
Ah. Maddox wetted his concern away with her right hand, as if that would really get him to stop questioning her.
Just relax.
Relax.
We can talk to Commander Kirk and see what he has to say.
Yep.
We can't take Callista to the Shadows base.
Uh-huh.
You think they're going to just let her in with open arms?
Yeah. You think that's a smart idea?
Kieran, you whine too much. They're family, and family helps family.
Okay.
You know just how thin that line of family really is.
I
Alright.
think this is going to be a repeat of last time, but it's not.
last time, so did something bad happen last time you bring someone to the shadow base?
Maddox.
Uh-huh.
We can argue about it all night, but I think it's up to Callisto where we go.
Okay.
I think we should go with Maddox's plan.
I think your plan was to escape. Kieran looked at me like I had just sprouted 6 heads. Tora Captivatus was a valiant and noble attempt, but if what Kieran said was true about the link to my amulet and his bloodlust, the commanding officer of Shadow would have some ideas. Okay? I didn't care if it would be a dangerous journey. What else did I have to lose? Not much, so I was all in.
This is a mistake, Callista.
I think so too,
Deal
but
with it.
okay, deal with it. It was my life on the line. My amulet was the thing in question. It was really up to me what we did, and if Maddox was all for it, then I was confident in my choice as well. I ignored Kieran as he stalked off angrily to the other corner of the messy room. Maddox gave me a pat on my shoulder and told me not to worry. It will be a long night, but I was hopeful about what light this future journey would shed on everything. Okay. My feet dragged along the dirt path, kicking up a small dust cloud as I walked. Well, this was incredibly boring. There had to be something else to do besides walk in total silence like this. I could try to make things a little less tense.
Hey, do you want to play a game?
A game?
No.
No. Instantly, Kieran shut me down. Was it because he was still mad at me for my decision?
Why not?
Why not? Maddox placed her hands together as if she was going to beg. There was a look of amusement in her eyes as she winked in my direction. If anyone could convince the miserable man to do anything, it'd be her.
Still no.
Still no. I shot him a glare which he totally ignored. Letting out a huff on the air, I looked away. I just wanted to make things a little brighter on our journey, but Kieran was absolutely convinced that there was no fun to be had.
Kieran is totally a snooze fest sometimes.
Yep, agree.
Me? No, I am so fun.
Why are you triggered by that? Silence passed between the three of us as Maddox shook her head. She held up her fingers and counted to 3 silently. Oh, okay.
Alright, fine. Let's play a game. How will you torture me?
I don't know, let's see. Maddox let out a small laugh as Kieran gave in. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Kieran was so overdramatic. A game was meant to be fun and he enjoyed it because I had the best game in mind.
Kiss, marry, kill. I'll give you 3 names of people, and you tell me who you'd kill, kiss, and marry.
What? I wasn't expecting that kind of game. Okay, Callista.
I can't believe I agreed to this.
What? He placed his palm on his head and in an exaggerated fashion. Maddox started to laugh.
Let's see.
Let's see.
The Duchess of Wilston, that merchant lady from Omnia, and Maddox.
Whoa. Wait. Is it talking about Kieran or you, Callista? Wait. I'm kinda missing something. Let's go back.
Kiss, marry, kill.
Kiss, marry,
I'll
kill.
give you 3 names of people.
I can't believe it. Alright, fine.
Wait.
Kiss, marry, kill. I'll give
Kill,
you 3
kiss, and
names of
marry. Wait,
people,
what's
and
the
you tell me
order?
who you'd kill, kiss, and marry.
Is it kiss, marry, kill or kill, kiss, and marry? Wait. Confusing, but I'll go with this one. Or that one.
I can't believe.
Let's see. The Duchess of Wilston,
Uh-huh.
that merchant lady from Omnia, and Maddox.
Kill, kiss, marry? Or kiss, marry, kill? Which one? I smiled mischievously at the 2 of them.
That's so easy.
So easy.
How is that an easy choice?
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I'd marry Maddox since we already spent
Oh,
time
yeah.
together anyway. So that leaves the Duchess and that merchant lady who
Okay.
really didn't like me much.
Oh, that's the options. I thought that was the order already. Okay then.
Considering I almost killed that
Uh-huh.
merchant anyway, I guess I'd kiss the Duchess of Wilston.
Alright.
I guess it made some sense.
Uh-huh, indeed.
Some sense. I can't win with the 2 of you, can I?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Don't think so. Sorry, don't think so. A little small love. See, this was fun.
Alright, your turn, Callista. Me, Balder, and the king.
The king? Kiran looked at me with a glint of amusement for the first time in days. I battled my eyelashes at the man and leaned in as if I was a girl madly in love.
I'd kill you. Has to be done.
Has to be done.
Really?
Really?
Me?
Tough
Jeez,
crowd.
Tough crowd.
Marriage is out of the question.
Uh-huh.
I'd make an excellent husband. Come on.
Bruh.
Nope.
Sorry, buddy. For some reason, Kiran seemed rather irked by my response. I was just trying to tease him, but maybe putting him below the king and Balder offended him.
I'm done with these stupid games.
I looked at Maddox, who simply rolled her eyes at her friend. There was no need to get so worked up over a game, but at least he tried playing it. So I think I have to end the video right here. It was kinda fun, I must say, seeing that game. And also kinda getting interesting with going to the Shadow Base instead of Terra Captivatus. So I guess see you later then in the next episode of Secret Untold. Bye bye.